Hello guys, I'm back. Sorry I've had a little break for the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago I was away skiing. You might have seen that on my Instagram channel. Great little resort in France called La Rosière. And then last week I didn't have an awful lot on. Jules was finishing the PPF on this car, which I polished and prepped for him before I went away. Mammoth job Jules has had on this car. I'll try and show you around a few bits of it, but because it's so intricate, I think there was something like 80 or 90 different bits of satin PPF alone, plus obviously the huge gloss sections, but a really nice job. And I've been using Gtechniq's new product called Halo on the PPF. I was waiting for this to come out so that I could use it on this particular car, because I mean it's cool, it's a Lamborghini and it's a nice car to get this onto first. I say first, I actually put this onto a Cayman GT4 earlier this week, the car that was in the previous vlog that had Crystal Serum Ultra and EXO, and I was waiting for this product to come out so that I could put it onto the PPF. But this is the first full car I've done. The more I'm using this product, the nicer it is to use. It's a great product, buffs off really easily. I've been recording a little tutorial on how to use it, so if you want a more in-depth explanation of how to use it, check out further down the page on the channel, and there'll be a tutorial on it. For now I've got a little bit more of the Halo to do, so I'll just show you that quickly and then I'll show you around this car because it's cool. How often do you get one of those in the room? I think this is actually the first Lamborghini I've had in here. I think it is. Right, so I've framed it up weirdly so you can see this section, but I've got to duck down and talk to you. I've already applied it to the rear wing. I'd need to apply it just to this air inlet and to this section here. Interestingly as well, the decals, they've been taken off because if you leave them under the PPF you end up with a tiny little air bubble around the side of the decal. So to make it look its best, we took those off, applied the PPF over the panel, and then new decals have been fitted. If you want more info on that, or if you're looking at having decals fitted yourself, give us a call. So this is Halo, much like all the other products, a clear product in a little glass bottle. If you're familiar with the Gtechniq range, you'll recognise those, but it's great. It goes onto gloss, onto satin, and onto gloss and satin vinyl as well. Nice long work time. It smells a bit like, and this is a bit of a weird one, but when you were kids, do you remember your mum buying you the little bottles that then you kind of took the thing out of and blew bubbles? It smells like that, the little bubble mixture. But at 50 quid for 30 mil, I'll probably not be blowing bubbles with it. That's on the satin PPF, and then now onto the gloss section. I'm told it's got a very long work time, but I'm not going to experiment on this particular car. I've got some offcuts of PPF that I'm going to try some different bits on. And actually, last week I did apply to my own car some tests comparing it to EXO, which is what I would have previously put onto the PPF. But even though it beaded up initially, when we've had cars back after a few months or 6 months, when I've then washed them, although let's say the front end was done in PPF, and so then I normally put Crystal Serum Ultra and EXO onto the back panels, and then just EXO onto the front panel with the PPF. When they came back, the EXO on the PPF wasn't really beading up very well because it just doesn't bond to it. It's a completely different material to paint. So they've developed this specifically for PPF and vinyl, but likewise then it's not going to work so well on paint. So you still need to use the Crystal Serum and the EXO on bare paint. But nice and easy to use, buffs off no problem. Not like some products that smear around for ages or haze back up if you buff a little bit onto the opposing panel. So what you always have to be careful of is, can you see my face? No. What you have to be careful of is when you're doing your first buff, you end up pushing the product then onto that section of panel there, and then you can forget about it. And then when that dries on there, that's when then you get your issues with things like Crystal Serum or Crystal Serum Light. Obviously Crystal Serum Light has got a longer work time than Crystal Serum Ultra, which is why you can't get your hands on Crystal Serum Ultra, but you just want to make sure that then you're buffing off the opposing panels and not leaving any smears. And it's done, nice and easy. Check it with the light quickly. No smears on the roof or the engine cover. No smears down there on the air inlet. All good. So it's a nice easy product to use. I've gone around a bit slow on this particular job just because I've been wanting to get to, let me reconfigure the camera. That's better, nice view behind, right. It's probably taken me a bit longer on this car than it will do on future cars, but one of the first times I'm using the product. Very intricate car to work on as well, with lots of different surfaces. Quite similar to the McLaren 720, although I suspect that's got more surfaces with all the different scoops and bits in the door. But yeah, just been getting to know the product, making sure it's been applied properly the first time around using it. Anyway, that's the last little bit of car that I've had to do on this one. Like I say, very short video. That's not the most flattering view of me. Let's move it around. Anyway, so let me show you around the car. You've got Mars Red paint with satin PPF and satin black parts, all covered in various different bits of PPF. I can't quite remember where I got to because the camera flashed up saying the card was full, but I think I was just showing you around, showing you the sheer amount of work that goes into applying PPF to something like this, especially on a full wrap. Front end's one thing, but when you've got the whole car to do, it's almost kind of the same surface area of 2 or 3 normal cars. So let me show you the back end, for instance. You've got a nice big section of satin PPF on this wing, but then you've also got the top of these that then loops down there, because obviously you don't want stones whacking against the front of the wing support. A big gloss section along the underside of here, but then you've also got these little sections here. They're individually PPF'd. All of this bit, that's one section of satin PPF on top of there, another section there, another section that's split on there, and then the section that comes down from the side, you've got it kind of coming into the cutout on there. All of this is obviously digitally cut on a plotter, nothing's cut on the car. You've then got gloss PPF on this section of red on the back. Coming round, you've got satin PPF on this section here, so you've got one part that wraps from this inner edge around the top surface, but then you've got another part, a separate part, and can you see the line? So then it's joined in there. You've then got a separate part of PPF on the front of there, one more on that surface and one more on that surface. And when you kind of think of how big the car is and how complicated it is, you've got another section here and a section that goes onto this little kind of a handle cutout, a gloss section inside there. The door is in one piece. The mirrors, I think that's 1, 2 pieces, 3 pieces that's then on that surface. There's so many sections. Jules put up a picture the other night, that's a separate little section. The bumper, I can't remember how many sections that is, but when you actually look at it in this context, you can't really see the joins until you start looking really closely. And that's the aim, or that's what Jules aims for when he's fitting this PPF, that you have to look really closely to see where the actual edges are. When you stand back and look at the car in a whole, it just looks like a standard non-PPF'd car. But obviously it's got the protection now of having PPF on it. It's little details like taking the vinyl off, reapplying it on top of the PPF, really worth it, because otherwise you'd end up with that little airline around the vinyl. Like I said before, massive V12 engine on this car. Inboard dampers. Didn't realise that this was actually a carbon tub car, which is pretty cool. Talking of, let me show you inside. How cool is that? Scissor doors. Still need to give the inside its final detail over. But before I do, let me show you what a 6'3" Nathan looks like inside an SV, and unfortunately it's not the greatest fit in the world. Right, so in we get. Massive car, this Aventador. But when you're inside, okay, that's with my bum at the back of the seat and my head is touching the roof. If I had a helmet on to do a track day, you'd be doing the whole track day over your head at the side. So for me to get comfortable, I need to slide my bum forwards, but then my knee hits the indicator. There's no height or seat back and forwards adjustment on the seat, so you're kind of in quite a confined little space. First world problems, I know, that you don't fit into your own Lamborghini, but yeah, a bit disappointing really. Size fitment aside though, I don't think there's anything cooler than closing the door like this. Oh, while I'm in here, let me show you what I mean. So there's the indicator. just there is the stalk, and so with me in a comfortable position so my head's not actually touching the ceiling, your knee's just going to constantly hit that stalk, which is a little bit annoying. But I mean, aside from that, what a place of theatre. I don't know if anyone's ever sat in an Aventador. You've got your media bits down here, so SD cards and CDs, the cool fighter style starter button, lots of Audi switchgear and infotainment system. But that view, I mean, what can you see out the back? Not an awful lot. That's kind of the view out over the massive engine. Obviously I've actually got the engine cover open so you can see more there. I'll close it in a bit and have another look. There's me again, head against the ceiling. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you inside because it's not often you get a Lamborghini Aventador SV inside. To open the door, it's a little pull button there, push it up and then swing your legs out. Oh, one more thing to show you. I think these are definitely the biggest wheel and tyre combination. So this is the rear wheel, 355, 25, 21. I think that's easily the biggest road wheel that I've seen. I don't know if there's any bigger. Absolutely massive. I think I'm going to call it a day on that little vlog. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of an insight into the fantastic Lamborghini. Well done to Jules and thank you for the full wrap. I'm sure the customer's going to be happy. Not my customer, I'd hasten to add. I've just been helping out doing the final detailing and the preparation. Don't know when the next vlog will be. I've got a bit of a quieter week again this week. Hopefully next week I've got a Golf R in for a new car detail that I'll be able to show you. Also don't forget to subscribe to Instagram at Cam's Autogleam. And if you've got any questions or if you just want to say hi, feel free to drop a comment. If not, we'll see you in the next vlog.